Hey!
Hello, everybody. We're live.
Are with our 236th consecutive episode of
Wow.
How does that make you feel, Howard?
200 consecutive is the main word right there, right? That we have not stopped. We've been going on for 3-4 years straight. It's been awesome. Oh yeah.
Have a Saturday, no reruns, no repeats, fresh new content every week, including tonight's 11th hour match of the celebrity tournament. But that's not all we have for tonight. After the match, you'll see us again. That's when we will vote. That's when you will vote. That's when you will hear everything that we loved about the competitors this evening. Miranda, what are you looking forward to?
We have a Bob Cousy Award winner, guys, and then we have a Hall of Famer gymnast, which is awesome. And like Giselle said, after the match, you'll be seeing our pretty faces again and Howard's. But yeah, stick around for the outro to find out who's on next week. It's a surprise for all of us, so that's going to be very exciting. We have some big names coming up.
Oh yeah, we are in the final lap of round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, and we still haven't seen the Jesse Venturas, the Nancy Kerrigans, the JBLs. I mean, you name it, we haven't seen them. And you can only imagine when they're here what they're going to bring to the table. So continue.
Yeah. And still to come, Mark Henry, Lou Ferrigno, Greg Louganis, Joe Mantegna. Who else am I missing?
A lot. And us, of course. Myself, Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Phil.
Oh yeah, and Giselle. Giselle
in round 3. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we know.
You better know, because don't worry, I will get to round 4. And as of tonight, this is another very exciting thing I'm looking forward to this evening. As of tonight, we have not 144, but how many, Howard?
145!
Hall of Famers in the world of sports, music, and pro wrestling, not to mention
film, TV,
yes,
WWE, gymnasts, Olympians,
Oscar,
everyone,
Award, Emmy Award,
Tony Award winners.
Yes,
Golden Globe, AMA, WGA, award winners and nominees and Olympians. That is 145 Hall of Famers from the worlds of sports, music, and pro wrestling, plus major award winners and nominees, plus Olympians. Many of these, multiple of these honorifics, multiples of these accolades. I'm excited because
it's exciting. It's too exciting.
Gymnast joining that tonight. That makes number 145. Right. And we have that. Who else is on?
A Bob Cousy Award recipient.
Yes.
Ooh. So let's get to it. Avi, are you ready?
I think he's ready. We got the intro.
Let's go.
Intro.
This is different, and I love it, man, because it got me thinking like I was back at school again. I don't even know where you come up with these questions. I want to know how you come up with these kids. You're so innovative. I'm like, look, I mean, your mind is good, like you say, you're a history teacher, and your mind is going all over the place.
And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other.
You have something amazing going with this show because you're there and you're educating us.
Sure. Your platform gives us an opportunity to really let our guard down. And I've never told anybody in public about that experience with my dad. And on your platform, I don't know why I did that, because it's so comfortable and we're talking about things that matter.
I love the little anecdote of comedy with your would you pay for it? Would you not? That I love that. I love how you added that in to kind of break up the tension a little bit, because it gets serious.
We want to know people's stories,
I concur.
And that's what TKN does, So I love
uplifting human being. Last name Ferrigno, first name Lou. Lou, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. That's the best introduction I've I've ever heard in my life. You know something? You need to quit the show and be my moderator and travel with me.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it. You're unbelievable.
Last name Wilkins, first name Lenny. Lenny, welcome, my friend, to the celebrity tournament.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to this. It should be fun.
Last name Murphy, first name Calvin. Calvin, welcome to the tournament, my friend.
Damn! You said it just like I wrote it.
But these rhymes are going to wind down as I've reached the home stretch, the one and only stretch. I appreciate
You better
that.
than a lot of these rappers out there.
You gave me good eargasm tonight, man. I love your voice. I love the things that you talk about.
Well, you're the best I've seen. You're the Michael Jordan or LeBron James, whoever you want to make the GOAT.
This is why your audiences love you. This is why you continue to great guests, and great guests beget great guests.
I just want to do this again and again. I feel like I've made friends. And again, I've taken the competition part of it out because I've just enjoyed talking to you guys tonight.
Oh man, most definitely. This is, this is I think my top. I mean, because when you the intro you gave me, I gotta give it to you. I like.
You deserve it.
I mean, yes, pain is inevitable. I mean, there's a reason we have these sensors in our body. I mean, they're warning signs. In other words, something hurts. Obviously, something is amiss.
But she would sit at the kitchen table looking out the window for quite a period of time while the food was getting prepared. And I wish I had took that time to sit down with her and ask her questions about her being a child, along with my aunts, my uncles, so I could not only be a blessing to her and know more and sympathize and love her more as a mother, but also to know more about myself and my sisters and understand where we've come from.
This thing has drawn me out of myself and thereby drawn me into myself. But I learned a lot. And from you, Avi, I always learned something from you.
Continue to work as hard as you can, because by working, Avi, you will keep yourself busy and get used to the grief.
More underrated, we have Billy D. Williams, Italian men named Skippy or Unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Avi.
Archie Bunker, the mountain climber. Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor. Or Don Corleone, the computer repair person.
It's clearly an issue with the hard drive.
I'm going to go Don Corleone.
Here, the reason I'm going for Christmas is because it does create those amazing memories that and Sarge, I know you've been there too, because I've seen you at so many different great events for Muscular Dystrophy Association.
You compete with yourself. The Joe Reed, especially working with him, taking pictures in the magazine, helping me to shape my body and educate my mind.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder.
God, matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
There is nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Barry, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling
Nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Barry, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling an amazing group of individuals.
Legends from every walk of life who are just bringing their knowledge and their experience and their wisdom, and this is amazing. I feel like this is a cosmic convergence of what is most important to him, and he's such a stand-up guy.
Avi, congratulations. I don't know anybody that can talk as much as you. Seriously, I thought I could talk. You are unreal. What you do it with class, understanding, professionalism, you're simply amazing. I told you that when I first met you, and you ran off my autobiography. It basically was a book. It was simply fantastic. And to think that you do that every show.
He's very respectful, and he really connects with the artists and his audiences. And I felt like this guy's on to something, and I'm proud to be a part of this with him.
And I really thank your support. I lost my father, and you were the first person to support me in all that, and I thank you so much for that.
The greatest wealth is when you can share it with someone. You can share your victories, you can share your failure, you can express your deepest feelings, but the greatest wealth is to be able to say that I have a friend, and I feel an unbelievable level of wealth, and a lot of that is because I have somebody like you.
Are you here to win the whole darn tournament?
I don't play. I just win.
Robert, would you like to win this entire tournament?
You know, all those luminaries and athletes and strongmen notwithstanding, the most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
You're chomping at the bit to get in this thing.
Oh, yeah, man. I've been telling you, brother. You brought up some names to me, and I was like, I can't wait. I hope they don't see me because it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones, baby, and I'm not playing.
Are you here to win the entire thing, my friend?
I'll just say this, Avi. Winner, chicken dinner.
But are you here to win the entire celebrity tournament when it's all said and done?
I saw a very familiar face in Mike Rotundo, better known as IRS, and he said that he was here for the winner, chicken dinner, and I want to take away that chicken dinner, so yes, I want to win this whole shebang.
Last name Smith, first name Joe. Joe Smith, welcome, my friend.
Oh my God, Avi. Where did you get all of that from? Oh my God.
And pals, indeed, it is Saturday night, and as you guys know, this isn't a podcast, this is an event. I'm not a podcast host, I'm not an interviewer, I am a conversationalist, and we are going to thank our two participants for being here tonight, because guys and gals and pals, as of tonight, Saturday night, April the 5th, we have 145. Take that in for a second. Bill Maher, SNL, The Tonight Show, they can't book at this frequency, and we don't have $1 billion budget like they do, but 4,500 Hall of Famers from the world of sports, music, and wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, AMA, and WJ Award winners and nominees and Olympians, all competing for the pride and the prize, but it's not merely the size, guys and gals and pals. Industrial-sized air conditioners at your favorite B&B in Alaska would be rendered obsolete after witnessing that intro because we're all fired up. That much is a fact. You've all experienced luminary after luminary enter this virtual arena. Indeed, this place is quite stacked. I dubbed this vision of mine edutainment because I place emphasis on entertainment and education, because on this station, we celebrate those that are passionate about their vocation, and this format is anything but the same old, so I thank you for embracing the innovation and expressing your constant elation when taking in the most star-studded tournament of them all, a place where competitors convey their level of admiration while we marvel at the information, passion, and perspiration when observing this wide array of talent that make up the population of strong-minded thinkers that enlighten us, which is why I subscribe to conversation, because listening and applying is how we get to our destination. We're so much closer than we are apart, unlike the media, which wants to divide us, which is why this show offers a demonstration about what's right about us as a society. So for those new viewers out there who have a fascination, sit back and enjoy as I put a cap on this verbal dissertation. Let's sit back and realize what we witnessed here in this tournament oh so grand, where award winners and nominees own this land as we discover and rediscover our humanity through open dialogue, and we continue to expand. So be prepared to give a hand to competitors that are about to work their sweat gland, all the while our attention they command. It's my honor to present their wonderful, guys and gals, biographically telling their life story, condensing it with rhymes and a melody, because unity is the real prize. So guys and gals, let's all rise and reprise our roles as educational voyeurs that never chastise or agonize, but we revel in our beautiful reality without needing a disguise. On this network, we're allergic to lies, because even the bard Mr. Shakespeare once said, it's not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. So if you love something, don't hate others that do, because doing is the sweet nectar that's most rewarding. Take a moment to breathe, admire your desire to aspire, because if you don't, life will be but a blur. Of this, I'm sure. Never hate the flower for starting out as a seed, because long-distance running is essential. It's not a stampede. Don't run anyone over on your way to the top. Focus on yourself and never forget to cheer, lead, root for your loved ones, and lift people up. Guys and gals and pals, remember, this is a place where we have a living room-style conversation, which is why TKN is edutainment personified. We have philosophical fun in a place where strangers leave us friends. This is a sport of the mind, and I don't mind telling you that, guys and gals, this is a free preview event. It is free. 3 million strong in a short period of time, competitive camaraderie, a studio that now believes in this project. Last year they did it, a sponsor, which we'll be talking about pretty soon. But more importantly, guys and gals, 2 participants who have a strong ethical foundation, who are smart. That's why I started this show to begin with, to remind the world that we're not in a box. The athlete can talk Shakespeare. The luminary and storyteller can talk sports. We can talk about everything we want. We're not going to be put in a box. So guys and gals and pals, with that, let's bring in our first participant right about now. Our first participant grew up in the DMV area to parents George and Jackie. His dad, George, was a tech sergeant at Andrews AFB near D.C. Our luminary was so fast at a young age, even his mom, who was the anchor leg on our high school relay team, couldn't keep up with him because he was a blur. When he was 4, he matched his age and goals in his first soccer game for the Andrews Air Force Base Terminator. He was so fast that at age 11, guys and gals and pals, he joined his dad's for airmen's pickup games against some tough sorts. When he wasn't playing at the Air Force, he enjoyed hooping with his friends on the outdoor courts. In Clinton's Bonnywood neighborhood, he used his speed to keep up with the bigger teens. Some days, he'd be at it from noon to 8 p.m. as he had the dedication of 100 Marines. At age 7, guys and gals, at age 7, which is quite the young age, guys and gals, he was playing for the Andrews Magic, a youth team coached by George Lawson and fellow Air Force Sergeant Ron Cunningham. In high school, he played on the same AAU teams as Kevin Durant, while the only words his opponents could say was damn. From there, he attended UNC, teaming with the likes of Ed Davis, Tyler Hansborough, and Wayne Ellington. The masses had pegged him as a lottery pick, much to no one's chagrin. Anything less, in my opinion, should be considered a sin. He helped prep powerhouse Oak Hill Academy to a 42-1 record as a high school senior in 2006, as any court proved to be his yard. And in 2009, he won the Bob Cousy Award as the nation's top point guard. Let me mention his vast array of accolades at this juncture. CAA champion, won the 2009 NCAA championship with the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, the Bob Cousy Award. He won it in 2009 as a top point guard in the country, the ACC Player of the Year in 2009, first team All-ACC in 2009, consensus All-American in 2009, McDonald's All-American, selected as a McDonald's All-American back in 2006, first team Parade All-American to the first team All-Parade in 2006, South Regional MVP. He was named in the South Regional MVP in 2009. He also played in the Jordan Classic and Nike Hoop Summit. He was the most valuable player at Oak Hill Academy in 2005 and the World Juniors Tournament in France in 2005. Guys and gals, the greatest truth is a body of work that nobody can deny. They know his name from Shanghai to Mumbai. He's a Renaissance man, an all-around great guy. To all the point guards out there that watch his tapes, get ready to apply as I bring in a talented, kind, and humble human being. Last name Lawson. First name Ty. Welcome to the tournament, my friend.
What's up? What's up, man? Thank you. I appreciate the intro, man. That's probably the best. That is the best intro I've ever had. And nobody really knows that about my mom. She played track, and she always tells me all the time. She's like, you got your speed for me. You know you got your speed for me all the time. So that was funny. Nobody knew that. I like that.
I'll tell you what, man, one of the quickest, but I don't think a lot of people understand. It's not just your quickness, it's your control. It's the way you control the game, the pace, the tempo. You're a natural born leader, my friend. I could have kept going with those rhymes because there's so much more. But guys, this is just the 11th hour match. If Ty moves on to the next round, hey, he'll be paired off with some others as well. Ty, this is a cool thing. We got 145. Everywhere you look, you got a Jesse Ventura. You got people from the film and TV world, a John Goodman. You got the NBA greats. You got the football greats. They're all in this thing. 15 grand when it's all said and done in a 5-day, 5-night first-class trip to Greece. Are you here to win the entire celebrity tournament, my friend?
I'm here to win the whole thing. And like Will Ferrell said, I play for keeps, man. I play for keeps. I don't come here just to play for fun, all right? Let's get it.
I love it. I love it. Tom, I'm going to ask you a quick question, my friend. You're a great coach, a great motivator. Some of the young kids out there, you know, those who can't never will. Those who can will. You did it at a high level. Is it more rewarding for you personally than any other personal accolade to see a child grow up, wake up, walk down the street and tell you, Ty, you inspired me, you gave me hope? Is that more rewarding?
I'm not gonna lie, it is more rewarding. Just like even now, I know people that watch my Instagram, every day I'm posting like, you know, go to the gym kind of memes, like put that pizza down, go to the gym. And I get so many DMs about it, like, you just inspired me to go to the gym. I haven't been all year, but I'm gonna go just because I seen this. I was about to eat this cookie ice cream, but I'm gonna go to the gym instead. So that's why I do it every day now. It's because those really, really feel good. They hit the soul.
Yeah, no, everything about you screams real, and you motivate people. You're the real deal. You tell it like it is. I hope you don't mind. We'll talk about them later, but maybe one of these days we'll chat out on this. This is okay, right? And nothing wrong with some Progresso chicken noodle soup. That's fine, right?
Progresso soup is amazing. I got some in the cupboard right now. So yeah, I love Progresso soup, especially when I'm not feeling too good. I get that chicken noodle soup just to get back right.
I know exactly how you feel, man. Every time I'm doing a rhyme, I'm thinking of chicken noodle. It gets me through the day and gets me through the rhyme. And right now it's time, guys and gals, to bring in our second participant. I'm going to ask Ty Lawson to go backstage for about 30 seconds. I'm bringing him back in, and then we'll get started. Ty Lawson, guys and gals. Listen, man, I told Ty off screen, we'll talk about this one day, maybe even tonight. Man, 2012, there's so many great teams, but that 2012 Nugget team, man, those Zebras, those refs, they robbed the Nuggets. They robbed them. Ty Lawson led that team during the lockout 66-game season. They took it to the Lakers. I'll never forget that series. One of my favorites of all time. Guys and gals and pals, I want to bring in our next participant right now, who's an absolute legend and a force. Our next participant was born in Columbus, Ohio, to parents Bill and Joan. He was a very rambunctious child before he was all grown. He was constantly jumping off the furniture, which would make any parent groan and moan when they were attempting to get some Z's. But unbeknownst to them, their sons would set many a milestone. When he was 3, his parents put him in a recreational center gymnastics class, and when you think about it, it made perfect sense. I would be dense, so I shall commence and explain further, as there's no need to condense like a mid-'80s LA Clippers defense. They put him in that class so he could tire out and go to sleep. My parents should have taken that memo, but they're New Yorkers, so usher in the expletives and all the bleeps. He was multi-talented and skilled, guys and gals and pals, and he also excelled in soccer at a young age from the very start. His idol was John Roethlisberger, who taught him a lot about being passionate and wearing the flag on his heart. Something happened to him in 1984, a year in which the NBA and WWE blossomed, and we bid adieu to Three's company roommates, guys and gals, Jack Tripper, Terry, and who can forget Janet. He witnessed the men's gymnastics team at the Olympics in LA win a gold medal in front of the entire planet. With amazing coaches such as Dennis McIntyre and our very own Miles Avery, this man's legend was about to grow. All I have to do is take a deep breath and bestow upon you a list of his plethora of accolades with a flow, and all of you will soon go, whoa. His gymnastics career studded with highlights. He won 5 straight U.S. senior men's all-around titles beginning in 1996. He was a member of 3 Olympic teams in 96, 2000, and 2004. As part of 2000 2014, he helped Team USA to the silver medal, the U.S. men's first Olympic team medal since taking the gold in '84. He also represented the U.S. at 4 world championships in 95, 97, 99, and 2003, winning the team silver in 2003. He finished 4th in the all-around at the 99 world championships, a mere 0.01 from the bronze. He won 5 consecutive U.S. all-around titles from 96 to 2000 and 2 consecutive NCAA all-around titles in 96 and 97. He won 15 individual events U.S. titles. In 97, he won the Jesse Owens Award presented by the Big Ten Conference to recognize its outstanding male athlete for his accomplishments at Ohio State University. He won the Nissen Emery Award. He was named OSU's Gymnast of the Century, and is a member of its Hall of Fame. He's a member of the highly esteemed College Gymnastics Association Hall of Fame. He earned All-American honors 10 times, including 4 each during his junior and senior seasons. He won 11 individual conference titles and was named 1994 Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Reading his resume and accolades can kick the wind out of you because his accomplishments are so vast. Let me check my vitals. Is that how you check them? But wait, there's more. There's more. He's the first gymnast since Kurt Thomas in 76 and 78 to win 3 consecutive national all-around titles. And if all of the above doesn't tell you that this athlete is the truth, no bluff. How about the fact that he managed to win the 98 all-around title despite a torn rotator cuff? This man's resume is pristine. It has no blemishes, not even a stain. He rolled up his sleeves. He led with passion, and not once would he complain. When admiring his talents, he made you feel like an Alice in Chains singer named Lane. His career and life go several layers deep, like a certain author that once lived in Maine. They know his name from Spain to Tulane. He'll rock you like a chokeslam from a 7-footer named Kane in the middle of a hurricane. So put your hands together for a talented, humble, kind human being and Olympian. Last name Wilson, first name Blaine. Welcome to the tournament, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. You need some oxygen?
I got Progresso and I got some water. I think I'm okay. But I'll tell you what, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. You know why? Because there was so much more. I just don't want this to be a 3-hour show. There's so many more accolades, much like Mr. Ty Lawson, that I could have ran down. You've done it all, my friend.
I did a little bit, but I'll tell you what, you got more rhymes than Dr. Seuss, bro.
I love Dr. Seuss, man. He's a legend. And so are you. I like that you rep. You got the USA. You know, of course, you're a very, very big loyalist. I know Ohio State means so much to you. Ohio means a lot to you. We'll talk about what you're doing, of course, with your kids. You prioritize what matters in life, which is your family. I love that. And I love how you always remain true to your own self back in the day as a pro, but you had that personality, which I really think helped. We were in the same circles. Some future gymnasts watched your independence, and that helped them grow. And they're like, you know what? I like that Blaine has his own voice, his own personality. You definitely always had a free spirit, right, Blaine?
Yeah, they called me the bad boy of gymnastics, it's kind of crazy. You know, I had a couple tattoos, a couple piercings. It is what it is, but I was always about being myself, you know. And there was a lot of people that watched the sport, and they got a lot out of it. And I was glad I was a trendsetter in some way, shape, or form, and I inspired a lot of kids. So it was awesome,
including your own. And that's the question I have for you. I asked Ty the question as well. Is it more rewarding to see your child, or children, plural, walk up to you and say, Dad, you know what? We applied what you taught us. Maybe not initially. We applied it. It made us better. Is that more rewarding than any personal accolade or triumph that you've experienced?
Yeah, I mean, yes, by all means. You know, my middle child, my son, is a gymnast, and you know what? When he makes a mistake, he looks at me and he's like, "You're right." And I was like, "Hey, you know, I'm just here to help you move forward." You know, and that's the biggest thing. I'm their biggest fan. Can't get anybody else bigger than me.
No, there's no doubt about that. I know you give back. Your kids, of course, carry on your legacy. And Mr. Ty Lawson is here as well. We'll bring him in right now. Ty, Blaine, Ty. This is our 11th hour celebrity tournament match. The winner will move on to the second round. Guys and gals and pals who are voting again, 3 million strong. We appreciate you. We appreciate Blaine. We appreciate Ty. We're going to be talking about what they're doing as well after topic number 1. Believe me, they're doing a lot. And they are doing a lot. I want our sponsor to know that. I want the studio to know that. Blaine and Ty, guys and gals, are all about giving back, and they're all about keeping it real. That's why we like them. That's why we like them being in this tournament. Guys, we'll start with topic number 1. I'm going to kick it to Blaine first, but Ty has the same question as well. He'll go after Blaine. Remember, as you guys know by watching the show for such a long period of time, rebuttals are optional. You don't have to rebut somebody. But if somebody wants to rebut the other while they're speaking or when they're done, all they have to do is kick the old index finger up. I'll pop up out of the blue, and I'll make it official. We can rebut. That's all we got to do is one of these guys and gals. And by the way, They did so much as kids. You heard their resumes when they were 7, 5, 4 years old. The only thing I was doing at age 7 was one of these up here. That's the only thing I was doing. They were doing much more. They were competing and playing, man. I was picking my nose watching cartoons. That's what I was doing as a kid. Guys and gals, they got their game faces on. I'm going to announce topic number 1 right about now so all of you guys know what this first topic is. Again, remember, this is a sport of the mind, guys. It's a muscle. You got to stretch it. That's why these topics are all over the place. We like that. Blaine, you've been granted permission to go back in time. You're going to select an inspirational moment from your childhood of your choice. Now, this inspirational moment is going to be turned into a song. You can select any singer-songwriter in history to sing this song. The musical artist can either be from the present or the past, deceased or alive. Which musician do you select? Which inspirational moment from your childhood would you select and why? And finally, what would be the title of this song and why? Guys and gals and pals watching, I will kick it over to Blaine Wilson. The floor is yours, good sir.
Avi, I don't know how you come up with these questions, bro. These are, my wife looked at this and she goes, "Are you really going to be able to answer this?" And I said, "I don't know. It take a lot of brain power in order to do it." Ty, I don't know if you looked at it like I did, but I was like, "Dang, man, this is going to be hard."
It was a tough one, for sure.
So, I think looking at it, there's so many good artists, throughout time. But I think I'm going with Prince, actually. He's king of funk. He did rock and roll. He did jazz. He dabbled in just about anything and everything. Wrote a lot of his own stuff. Great entertainer, and that's kind of what I consider myself when I was doing gymnastics. Is I was more of an entertainer, performer instead of an athlete in some ways, and it helped. It helped quite a bit. As far as my inspirational moment, it's kind of crazy how a tragedy can turn into an inspiration. I don't talk much about my past and certain things that transpired with myself, but I had a buddy, Jason Whitfield, and myself, and Drew Durbin, Dave Eckert. These are all teammates of mine. He was from Michigan, and we all had a pact. We were all going to go to the same college, headed to the same school, same direction. And he was massive. He was in front of us, like ahead of us as far as the gymnastics world. He had been to USA Championships before us. He was 2 years older than us. And we all agreed to go to Iowa. We were all headed to Iowa. That's where we're going, Iowa Hawkeyes. And unfortunately, he ended up dying in a motorcycle accident before he even started school there. And it actually, it was devastating for me. Ironically, it changed my life's direction. I got a lot of inspiration from his parents. They were awesome. Mr. and Mrs. Whitfield were awesome. They were, said I had to carry on his legacy, carry on his name and, do as much for gymnastics as I possibly could. So I took that as an inspiration to, move forward and to make as much out of my life as possible, because you don't know when that end is coming. You just don't know when it's coming. So I ended up at Ohio State, and it's crazy how that moment in time inspired me to move forward and to be the best gymnast I could, the best person I could. How many people can you affect with the way you do things, the way you carry yourself, and that was a huge part of moving forward. And his parents were awesome. They actually gave me some inspirational tapes that he used to listen to, and they said, "Blaine, you'll get a lot out of these." And I listened to him from the first Olympic Games to my second Olympic Games. I listened to him so much that I wore out the tapes. So I don't have them anymore. And unfortunately for my last Olympics, I didn't have them, but I had them right here. So it was an inspiration for me to just move forward and do as much as I possibly could. Not just in the gym, but outside of the gym. All Song. What song would I pick? You know, for me, I would have him sing "Bumps." What did I have? "Bumps in the Road." I when I talk to kids during the summer or anytime, I've been coaching since I was 18. You know, and I'm 50 now, so long time. But when I tell the kids, you have to enjoy life's journey, and you have to deal with the bumps in the road. And you may not like the bumps in the road, but you have to deal with them. Yeah, you have to figure them out. You know, it's very easy to be positive when you know everything's working for you and everything's going in the right direction. But it's those bumps in the roads and that you need help with. And sometimes you need somebody to give you a little push. It's almost like speed bumps, depending on how big they are. You know, some are small, you can deal with them on your own. And some are massive, and you just need some help. You know, and I think that's, you know, bumps in the road. That's the way I look at life. You know, you gotta deal with it, take one thing at a time. So.
Yeah, I like that. And bumps in the road. I know it sounds cliche and sappy, but I'd rather be sappy than cynical. I mean, they make us better. Here's the thing. I would never say the following, and I would never pretend it's a good thing. But when we lose someone, and I know what that's about as well, and we carry their legacy, we get to put their name out to the universe, out to the ether. We talk about them, and then strangers who never would have known them when they were alive now know them when they're deceased. So my question to you is, what were those tapes? What was he into? What were his hobbies? I want to get to know him a little bit. Like, what was he into?
Well, I mean, much like, motorcycles,
right?
Loved it. I mean, he flew by the seat of his pants. I mean, that's and that's where I was at. You know, I loved it. We had fun together.
Sure.
Spent a lot of time doing gymnastics. You know, the movies. You know, it was hard because regionally, he was in Michigan. I'm in Ohio.
Rivalry, yeah.
So I mean, the rivalry was great. We loved Genesee Valley. We loved competing against Genesee Valley. And the thing is that we had the opportunity, you know, to go spend some time training with them, and then they trained with us. So we had a good camaraderie. But yeah, he was just a go-getter, man. He was not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate situation. And
Sure.
you know, as far as those tapes, thinking back on it, there were probably 6 of them, and I laid in bed at the Olympics in '96, headphones on, listened to I fell asleep with them on, you know, nonstop. I'd pick up the next one, you know, whenever I went back to sleep, or whenever I was resting. But I mean, they were literally the most positive things that I could possibly think of, and even if you had a mistake, the tape was like, it was like right there. It was like, you know what? I can deal with this. I can figure it out. You know, hey, I can make it work. I can make it work.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. And, you know, you made a lot of things work. I don't know if our fans know this, but one of the proudest moments in the sport came to you in 2004, not just because you helped the team, of course, win the silver. You came back after you blew your tendon out in 2004, and you pushed through. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, there was nobody that thought that I was going to be remotely able to do it. I had 4.5 months to make the team, like to get on the team. It was just short of 5 months to compete at the Olympic Games. And yeah, I mean, Tim Daggett, I'll never forget. He said if he tore his biceps tendon, his career as a gymnast is over. His Olympic dreams are over. And I was like, bro, you know me. Come on, man. Don't say that.
No,
because all you're going to do is motivate me.
Right.
You know? And it's I can see it in Ty's face. It's those peoples, it's those naysayers, the doubters, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, what?
Hey, we had a few last year when we started this show. I used to work for a studio that isn't as big as the one I work for now, a film studio. They're still one of the best, but they said this show's never going to work. I go, what do you mean? They're like, well, it's too positive. I go, damn, what kind of wacky world are we living in where they're like, something positive ain't going to work? I go, man, we'll dress it up. We'll have some pomp and circumstance, but I guarantee you it's going to work. Now, all of a sudden, they're like trying to be my best friends. You guys know that world. You know all that world. All of a sudden, they want to know you. You know, they know your name, but they don't know how you got that fame because you have to roll up your sleeves and work hard. And I think Blaine brought this back when he said something like this, Ty. I think it's a good quote. He said about his sport, if you're healthy, you're not a gymnast. If you're healthy, you're going to get injured. Right, Blaine? I mean, damn.
It just happens. I mean, look, that's the bumps in the road. You got to deal with good, bad, indifferent. Listen, I've had 9 surgeries and about 38 cortisone shots. Whatever.
Wow.
It is what it is. Who cares? I mean, I can still play golf. I'm good. I'm good. But you have to deal with everything that's thrown at you. And once again, don't doubt me. Don't doubt what I can do. Don't doubt my abilities. I got that very, very honestly from both of my parents. Born and raised Catholic, and Catholic families. You're gonna figure this out.
Dad Bill was a very, very big influence. I know, and I know growing up, you were a fan, of course, of John Roethlisberger, who then became someone who gave you that quote about telling you to wear that American flag on your heart. There's so many. I love this story. I love your story growing up because there's a lot of people that not only paved the way, but they had credibility. And like when you're young, you don't really understand. You've got to surround yourself with credible people because, of course, you're young. You don't get that. Like everyone's got that nucleus around them that they think, man, they're gonna be my ride or die guys. But then you realize, man, like no, some of them could hold you back.
Listen, us Catholics, we got in trouble. Don't hey, no sugarcoating it. I got my own bit of trouble. But in the end, my parents were like, dig yourself out of it. I'm not gonna help you. I'm not gonna help you. That's just the way it is.
You gotta do it.
I'll give you the tools. Here are the tools.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
I like it.
So
Ty, I'm gonna ask you that same question before I make the topic official for Ty. Ty, I love your body language as well because you know all too well sometimes, when you grow up, no disrespect towards some people who may be good people, but a lot of times the youth of today, whether they're an aspiring writer or a gymnast or a basketball player, if they hang out with people that hold them back, that could be detrimental to their growth, right?
100%. Like, I'll even say some of my friends, even when I got to the NBA, they was holding me back from being greater. Maybe that's not the reason why I wasn't greater is because they get here, they really don't see the work. All they see is, oh yeah, you got millions of dollars, you got this house, this crib, all the parties are popping, da. And I'm like, bro, like y'all want to go to this party trying to drag me out because you know that you'll get in for free, you'll have all the bottles, the girls will be there and stuff like that. Right. But that's not good for me because I'm out with y'all till 2 a.m. Now I gotta get up at 8 a.m. and go to the gym. I'm not in my best position. So they was doing that. They would do that all summer. Oh man, let's go da. And I just noticed at one point I was like, man, like this ain't it. And then they get pissed at me. Oh, Ty never did nothing for me now. So that's why I feel I see exactly what you're saying. Even to this day, I went back to my old Bonnywood. I went back to Bonnywood, my old neighborhood. Right. I see the same guys outside doing the same thing at age 37, man. Like they're not leaving, they're not trying to travel and go places. So exactly, watch who you hang out with and who your friends are, because they definitely might be holding you back.
There's no doubt about that. Absolutely. I mean, your dad, when you were younger, Ty, kept you in the gym and after school, and he always went to the youth center. So, there were so many people around you also that were a good support system. Sometimes you could fall into that wrong realm. But that youth center was actually very beneficial for your growth.
Oh yeah, because I was there all the time. Like I really had no time to do anything wrong. And I have like a little funny story one time. All right. Yeah. I did go to public school or whatever. So I had some friends that went to public schools doing public school things, doing kind of bad things. So one time I was only known for going to the basketball court chilling. So one time they called the house when we had school off, and they said, Ty, come outside and bring some papers. I'm like, papers? I'm just thinking like, okay, cool. I go to the printing joint, grab some white papers, right? And I went to the park real quick, and I give it to him, and it's crazy. And I'm like, yo, here's the papers you wanted. Can't roll with that. I'm like, roll what?
You were always a leader, though, man. Every story I've heard about from, again, people in our same circles, and you were always a floor general. Like, I brought this up briefly in the intro, but when you were 4, you were so fast. Like, you matched your age in goals. When in your first soccer game for the Andrews Air Force Base called the Terminators, I mean, it makes sense, of course, because your mom, Jackie, was the anchor leg on our high school relay team. But I keep saying this, there's control. I'm a hoop head. I've always been a hoop head. And watching you play the game, there was so much control. you said like your friends thought it was so easy to play the game, or just I guess the riches and the spoils. But when people watch point guards, they're watching quarterbacks. They're watching a quarterback on the basketball court guide. And I don't know if Blaine or Ty agree with me on this, but sometimes when people bring up this whole MJ LeBron debate, which I won't bring up because it's just ludicrous for many reasons, but like what people think is that, oh, well, this guy played with 3 other star players. If you're the facilitator, like Ty Lawson was, if you're the guy that makes sure he's there to serve others as well as himself, it's actually sometimes more difficult to be playing with other superstars who need to get their 25 and 30, right, Ty?
Right, exactly. I say that for what players I play with. It was hard, really hard to play with them because they need the ball, they need it in their hands, and just So it's definitely you're 100% correct with that.
Oh man, guys and gals, we're getting a lot of great pearls of wisdom from Blaine and from Ty. And speaking of Mr. Ty Lawson, same question for him, my friend. You've been granted permission to go back in time to select an inspirational moment from your childhood. It's a moment that's going to be turned into a song, and you can select any single songwriter in history to sing the song. It could be someone from the past or present, deceased or alive. Which musician do you select and why? What inspirational moment from your childhood would you select and why? And what would be the title of this song and why? My friend, the floor is yours whenever you're ready to go, good sir.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back in time, and I'm going to select Tupac. Because Tupac, he was very inspirational to, his people and trying to get them to do the right thing and move forward. I mean, he has his tough patch, but at the end of the day, he just wanted to inspire people and inspire his people. So I would choose him because that's the reason why I would choose him. And I probably would choose the part of my childhood that was inspirational. I would probably say my whole basketball journey from like elementary school up to like high school, because I was a smaller player and playing basketball. So most of the time I wasn't really getting picked. I did get overlooked a lot, and that really just taught me just to keep my head down and keep pushing towards the goal. Even though I wasn't seeing the results right then and there, they were going to come. And I also feel like that goes on with life, even as being a man. It could be any race of man. You got to keep pushing because the world really don't care. Like if you get divorced, you lose your job, anything, they're not going to let you just sit down and be like, they're not going to care and try to pick you up. They're going to let you sit there. If you don't pick yourself up for the most part and like just keep pushing, keep going, it's tough. It's tough out there. So that's why I feel like, that was so inspirational. I think that a lot of people can relate to that because, things happen in the world. It could be, like I said, you lose your job and it's not your fault. It could be just laying people off like, Google or these big tech companies. Nobody's going to be like, oh, yeah, hey, how you doing? You can't cry. You can't sit there and do none of that. You got to get up and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Your wife, everybody's going to be like, yo, what are you going to do? Oh, no, they might leave you or whatever. But you got to keep it going. So that's what keeps me inspirational and everything like that. I think that keeps me going even in life right now with the things I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to tap into the tech world, start my own app. Friends is telling me, oh yeah, why are you doing that? Why don't you just invest in this? I don't want to do that. I want to set a trend because there's not really too many Black people in tech. So I want to be one of the first one to start an app. So that's why I think that that part of my childhood from playing on older teams. That's why I started doing when I was younger. That's why I started going on the base and playing with grown men because I was either small, but I got to be aggressive. I couldn't be soft out there. I had to be able to take contact. That's why I got strong. Even till today, my high school AAU coach, he said, when you get older, because he thought I was lazy, he said, when you get older, you're going to be fat. And that sticks with me to this day right now. Everybody asks me why you getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning and going to work out. That's the exact reason why. It's nothing else. Now I have abs. Every time I get to show them, I can't wait till I go back to DC. Shirt is off. I'm walking in. I don't care where we're at. I'm walking like that, man. Yeah, that's exactly.
Man, you know what? I'm glad about that. I wish the audience understood this though. Man, that's why Ty Lawson sold those candy bars when he was younger, didn't eat them because he was known as the candy man of Gwynn Park. Is that right, Ty?
Yeah, man. I like money at the time, so I figured out between breakfast and lunch, people was getting hungry. They wanted some snacks, so I go to Sam's Club, get a bunch of snacks for cheap, and I would hide it in my binder, and I had like a lunch pail. There was no lunch in it though. It was all
you had Starburst, Sour Patch, Snickers, everything.
It got to the point where they was confiscating my Trapper Keeper.
Wow.
They really did. They took my Trapper Keeper and my lunch pail because it had nothing but candy. Then I started having like rivals because my friends seen how much I was making. I was cleaning up. I was doing it. Yeah, my friend
like a rival candy crew.
Rival candy crew. He was not going to Sam's Club. He was going to, I think, Walmart and getting some candy. I was like, yo, what's up, man?
Yeah. No, they were inspired by you, man. They wanted to make sure that their profit margin outdid yours, man, even as a youngster. But not you're a forward thinker. You're a forward thinker. So like, I don't want, who am I to say this? I don't want to sound like I'm not trying to be Tony Robbins, but you're not trying. You're doing, man. You're doing it. Like the fact that you have an idea, it starts as a germinative idea, and now you're actually putting it in motion. Like even if you fail, that's a win because most people don't even get that far.
Yeah.
So exactly. I applaud you for that. Yeah, that's incredible stuff. And Tupac, man, instead of attending geometry class in Queens, New York, I cut class to spit rhymes. Listen to Tupac. That's what I did in Queens growing up. A very inspirational figure. There's no doubt about that. And there's so much poetry in his lyrics. I don't think people understand what a poet this man was, what a storyteller this man was as well. A performing artist. The guy learned the craft of storytelling at a young age. Man, so that's some good stuff right there. Guys, I want to talk about, speaking of good stuff, Ty and Blaine. Before we get into topic number 2, there's a lot that they're doing right now. We've only scratched the surface. I'm going to start with Blaine. I talked about your family and how you're paying it forward and how there's nothing more important than family and how you prioritize your family and how some of them have aspirations as well. What are they involved in right now, Blaine? Because you are helping them every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge family man. As I said, I'm Irish Catholic. I have like 48 cousins. My mom's one of 8. You know, so I mean, we have a massive family. So we spend a lot of time, you know, with the cousins.
You got a lot of Marys in your family, right? Cousins or Aunt Marys, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Dennis's. Yeah. Are there some Dennis's too? Some Dennis's?
I think there's only like 1 or 2, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, we got nicknames for everybody, but no, my kids are doing great. My youngest son's a soccer player.
Right.
He's done a couple crew things. He's massive into soccer. That's all he does. He eats, sleep, soccer.
Wow. How old is he?
He's 12. Bodie. Nice. He actually also plays some baseball. My dad really wanted a baseball player. As I said, I'm named after Blaine Nye of the Dallas Cowboys and Rod Carew, who was a baseball player. But
yeah,
I said, Dad, it's probably not going to happen. So, and then my oldest son, my middle child, is a gymnast. I was like, dude, this is not an easy profession that you chose.
Right.
It's not easy to go forward. There's not a whole lot of money to be made in the sport either. This is going to be your passion, buddy.
Blaine, there's 2 schools of thought, and I'll ask you and Ty this. Like some people might say, well, if they follow in their dad or mom's footsteps, they can get an easy way in because of their dad's namesake. But if their dad or mom were considered legends, I mean, you don't want to stay in that shadow. You want to make a name for yourself. So either way you look at it, what is that your school of thought, Blaine? That second one I brought up?
My son hates it.
Yeah.
He hates. I say I can go on the floor because I have credentials to do so. I stay in the back. I stay way. I try not to be anywhere near him.
Sure.
I'll say something at the beginning. But I mean, in the end, he doesn't like the fact that, hey, you're Jackson Wilson. You're Blaine Wilson's son. He hates it.
Right.
He's like, I want to create my own way. And I get it. My oldest child, she just finished, she's graduating college. I'm old, Ty. I'm an old man. She's graduating college, but she just finished her volleyball career. She's from a previous marriage. So, but yeah, I mean, like if family is everything, man. If you don't have family, you don't have anything. So
absolutely. I totally agree with you there, man. And again, the same thing I would ask Ty. Ty, you got a lot of stuff right now in the mix, and I want our sponsor to hear about it. We'll talk about them in a second. I want the studio to hear about it, our audience, 3 million strong. Man, there's so many things you're involved in right now. What are you really passionate about right now outside the game?
There's 2 things outside the game. Okay. Well, two
or even part of the game, yeah.
All right, it's 2 things. I'm starting a boot camp for players in Cleveland, because I know it's in Cleveland. There's not too many celebrities that actually come back here and do stuff basketball wise. A lot of people that made it to the NBA but really don't do stuff here. So my dad's from here, so we started a boot camp where we get 30 kids a session, and on Saturday and Sunday, and we just go hard with it. No parents are allowed, so we talk real basketball. What's stopping you from getting to your potential, and actually just teaching them, because a lot of people look up to NBA players, but none really come into the city and do that. So that's one.
Okay.
And the second one, I started an app called Lotto Wins. It's basically I see a lot of people play the lottery, right? So I basically created a free lottery where instead of you paying money to win money, all you gotta do is watch a 30-second ad. You can do it from your phone. And I'm starting Monday a $250,000 six-pick for everybody. Anybody can play. It's called Lotto Wins. All you gotta do is watch a 30-second ad, pick your numbers, you get your ticket. Now I come on live on Instagram, TikTok, and also on the phone. You'll see a watch now where you can see me live, pick the numbers. If you hit, I'll send the money out. I have an insurance company too that's with it. I'll send the money out in 7 days. There's also a 5 out of 6. So if you hit 5 out of 6, you win $1,000. If you hit 4 out of 6, you win $100. So I'll be doing that going forward. But also I can do anything I want. It could be trip to Greece like you're doing. I can do any package together with the insurance company and make it.
Wow.
So yes.
Hey, I want to plug this not just tonight.
That's awesome.
It really is, right, Blaine? It's innovative. I want to plug this on future shows. Where could people be able to kind of follow this, Ty? Can you let us know again?
You can follow on my Instagram, and like I said, the app's Lotto Wins. Right now I'm doing a jersey giveaway, Ty Lawson jersey giveaway. You hit 2 numbers out of 75, I send you out a jersey. I sent out 4 so far already. So
incredible.
It's free.
6, hey, you know what? That kind of reminds me. I dated somebody, and she checked all the boxes. She was gorgeous. She was intelligent. She was loyal. She had every box checked off except for the last one. And I had to let her go because of this. I don't know if you know this or not. I mentioned this on my show before. She would ration the last 10% of her toothpaste and use more of that than the first 90% of the toothpaste, and it drove me nuts. She had to get that last squeeze. She's trying to get that last squeeze out, Ty, and it drove me nuts. I'm like, come on, we're doing well. She's a lawyer. Why are you trying to get that last squeeze out? Well, man, I'm picky, man. I'm telling you. 5 out of 6. Yeah, but she was right there, just like your lotto projections. And guys, you know what? Right now, I know that you're watching the show. You want to have a snack. You want to be able to kind of, as Ty said, prioritize your health. You know, Blaine Wilson and Ty, these are mega athletes. We got an Olympian, and we got one of the greatest players in NBA history. They're right here. They know what it's all about nutrition-wise. So that's why we're going to talk about something I think that can give us a lot in the tank. Progresso soup, guys and gals and pals. Chicken noodle. We appreciate them and what they do for us. I want to ask Blaine and Ty a question. There's a bit of a problem. We love our Progresso. There's no doubt about that. But in this pack, there's 4 and there's 3 of us. How the hell are we going to fight over that last can? Who's getting that last can?
Man, all you got to do is split it up. Just split it up.
Yeah.
It's share, baby.
Are we going to split it up? That last can? Okay. Okay.
Man. Everybody gets a taste, man. Everybody gets.
That's how it goes. Okay, because Ty's got some Progresso in the way. He's got some Progresso too. He's a fan of Progresso, so we know that already.
I got some in the cup. On them sick days, definitely get me right. I'll bounce back right.
Yeah, I have some downstairs in my basement for the just in case the rainy day stuff.
I got that.
The apocalypse, yeah.
I'm gonna have to share a secret with you guys though. When you guys are because you got more fans than me, obviously, and you should. When you guys are busy talking to your fans and signing autographs, I'm gonna grab that last can of Progresso. I ain't gonna split it with nobody. I'm grabbing the last can. I'm telling you right now, it's mine.
He's a greedy man. He's a greedy man.
Progresso, man.
Good. It's that good.
It's amazing. And I Blaine, listen, I'm greedy for knowledge. You guys are giving me knowledge. So we're gonna hop into topic number 2 as we get more knowledge from Blaine Wilson and Ty Lawson. But what we're gonna do real quick. I'm going to keep you guys on screen. I hope you enjoy this. It's 60 seconds. It's a video of those that we've lost that were a part of this journey of the TKN Celebrity Tournament that are no longer with us. Trio of options for Gallagher, more underrated than why. Sauerkraut, Henry Kissinger's deep, soothing voice, or dogs wearing sweaters.
I like dogs wearing sweaters.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I haven't done an interview in 20 years.
Mr. Sizemore, first name Tom. How are you, my friend? I could turn the volume lower if you'd like next time. If you'd like me to do that, Tom, I could do that.
Wow, that was something else. I don't know what I can do now.
Oh, please.
That was terrific, man.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And what, as charming as a guy that you are, man, and as honest as a guy as you are, and as down to earth as a guy as you are, you played a character that isn't so down to earth named Scrooge in college. You played Scrooge, and of course, I feel like a thespian should rely on their instinct. Do you feel like you rely on your instinct a lot as a storyteller as well?
I mean, playing Scrooge at that young an age was, when I think about it now, I only way I could have done it is I was relying on my instincts. You know, I could have done it any other way. Okay.
More underrated and why? Unicycles, Italian men named Skippy, or sophisticated dinosaurs?
What? More sophisticated dinosaurs?
Yeah,
I want to say the sentence. Italian men named Skippy. I just want to say.
Yes. Yeah. Italian men named Skippy.
I just want to say the sentence. Italian men named Skippy.
Yeah, something you'll ever hear. Yeah. Did you have fun? Did you have a nice time?
I had a great time. It was ball.
Yeah, man.
I want to do it again. This is great. I just think it's going to be, a lot of fun for people. I don't think people like this on the air. I don't think really. No, there isn't. I just think it's going to be I'm very interested in how people respond to it, because I know it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be people tune in and stay tuned in, and I really hope they do. And I'm all yours, bro. Let's go out and make this work. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
I teach a workshop, and one of my students finally said about my class about iambic pentameter. He finally said, "I got it," and he was excited, and it was both his elation and those 3 words that make it worthwhile, right?
Amen. Amen. You got it. But I think I've got to have equally passionate people involved in the production of it. That passion will override any reservations anybody has as to the show's potential for entertainment or education.
Did you feel as if transitioning to the stage and performing live theater was a natural fit for you?
Yes, I did. I always felt very comfortable on stage. More so on stage than I did in film or television. So I'm looking forward to you, Avi, giving me your thoughts and your input, because as I told you, that piece that you sent me is, I love good writing, and I think
Thank
that's
you,
been
sir.
my career. And this is a beautiful piece of writing, as I said. I'm referring to the piece that you wrote me. You're onto something because you're a writer. You're a creative force, and I want to hook up.
Thank you so much for those kind words, guys. Thank you for being you, my friend. I appreciate you and respect you wholeheartedly.
And that goes double for me to you, Avi.
You guys would have dug my pop, man. My pop was a huge NBA guy. He really told me about the game when I was 4 or 5, and I started like watching it religiously, like in the days of Adrian Dantley and Alex English, and I was just like hooked ever since, man. And would love talking to Ty. We talked about that aforementioned 2012 series against the Lakers, which, man, again, I'm not trying to stir controversy, but those zebras, those refs, I'm telling you guys, the Nuggets had that series. There's no doubt, led by Ty Lawson. That was during the days of the great late Kobe Bryant, of course, who led the Lakers. John Amos, there was another guy I wish you guys, if you guys got a chance to meet him, he had such a presence about him. I started writing for him a few years ago, and before he passed away, we hit it off on all things civil rights, because when I used to teach history, I stopped teaching history because my assistant principal walks into the room and watches me writing a do now about Frederick Douglass. And for those that don't know out there, for our younger viewers, Frederick Douglass's last name was spelled with 2 S's at the end. So she walks in and says, "Avi, you made a mistake. You put down 2 S's in his last name." I said, "That's because that's how his name was spelled. It had 2 S's. And I said, if our assistant principals and educators don't know how to spell one of the greatest human beings in the civil rights era and don't know how to spell this guy's last name, I'm done." I brought in a freedom writer. There's not too many of them left, who walked with Martin Luther King, and she's still alive. She's still with us. Her name is Diane Nash. I brought her in to meet my assistant principal. And I gave her the whole intro. This is Diane Nash, freedom writer, what she's been through, what she did, what she saw. And my assistant principal like blew her off. She was like, "Oh, hi," and walked past her. And I'm like, these are educators? I don't want to get in those soapbox right now, but like it scares me to think that our educators are less educated than even some of the youth of America today. And we're trusting the fact that they can teach our youth when they don't know anything about the real history. They don't know anything about really much because they serve the god of TikTok. Like, I know that it sounds weird, but I know teachers literally that get their research off Wikipedia and TikTok, and that scares the living crap out of me, guys. I don't know. Would you concur as parents? I mean, Blaine, you're a parent, man. That's scary. That's scary stuff.
Yeah, it's like all I can say is that all these electronics, man, they're not helping. They ain't helping at all. I'll say this because I coach kids for a living. That's what I do. Yeah. The focus isn't there as much as it used to be. It's not that the drive, the instant gratification is what they want. I was like, it doesn't work like that. You better put some work into it. And Ty knows that I can see in his face.
Yeah. And
He
Ty,
knows exactly.
And there's so much we can get out of it, right, Ty? Because you know the world of social media all too well, but there's those inner trappings that the youth can fall into unless they understand what it's like to do due diligence, right?
Yeah, it's really sick, to be honest, because every time you get like a little one like, that thing hits. And that's what the algorithm, the people, they want. They want that notification, and you go check your phone real quick.
Yes.
And it gives you that gratification every time. And that's not what happens in life. You know, when you're going to, like you said, if you want to be a gymnast or a basketball player, it's not going to happen the first day you're in the gym, second day, third day. It might not even be a month, but it's going to get better as long as you keep working at it. And I just feel like with social media, how it's just the scroll system and then the likes, and then now they got all these different features that keep bringing you to your phone. At one point, I had to put my phone down when I was building my app. I was like, yo, I can't keep doing this. I'm never going to get nothing done.
Wow. Yeah, it's so distracting. And it's like distracting some of our greatest minds, which is scary. But guys and gals, I don't mind letting you know right now that before we ease into topic number 2, and then we're out of here after topic 2, we're going to play a fun game I like to call I Would Pay. Of course, it's wacky. Of course, the options are wacky. Of course, this is silly. It's supposed to be. I'm going to give Blaine and Ty 3 options, and they're going to let me know if they could pay to see the following. Which one would it be and why of the 3 options? Which one of these trio of options would they select and why? We'll start with Blaine Wilson. Blaine, if you had the option to pay to see the following, which one would it be of these 3 and why? Rocky Balboa as a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld as a correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
I'm going to go with Rambo the talk show host.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
The intimidation factor right there just would be brutal.
It would be.
He asked you a question, you didn't give the right answer, dead man walking.
All you have to do is like take the knife out, non-verbally, not say a word, and just
the survival knife. He's pulling out he's got matches.
Man.
You know, toss one over there and light the chair on fire and make you move a little bit. You know.
Oh,
I think it'd be awesome.
And then he did the writer in me. He looks at that person who's scared and shivering and can't say anything, and he just does one of these. He looks at the person and goes, "Talk." To talk show. Talk. I'm going to ask Ty Lawson the same question of the following, which you would select and why. If you would pay for one of these, it would be Rocky Balboa as a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld the correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host. Ty Lawson.
100% Seinfeld the correctional officer. Yeah. Oh man, you know how frustrated you have everybody that's in prison. Oh my God, just getting sarcastic jokes and all that.
Yeah.
They would be pissed off, man. Probably make good time.
Why do they call these bars? Nobody's rhyming. Something like that. Something stupid like that. I like that. I'm gonna give Blaine Wilson and Ty a couple more of these, and then we start topic 2. Blaine Wilson, my friend, which would you pay for to see of the following and why? Hannibal Lecter is a regular cast member of 90210, Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, or Conan the Librarian?
I mean, I'll go with Big Bird. I'll go with Big Bird.
Okay. Big Bird the Bounty Hunter.
You know, because you see on TV Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
And then you look at Dog, and then you look at Dog in that costume.
Sure.
And you're like, oh no. Oh no.
That's it.
Big Bird's coming.
I've done something wrong. I've done something wrong. I got to take off. And you know what?
Man.
I don't think anybody knows this, but I'll lean into you guys and say a secret. Big Bird ran the streets of Sesame pretty well, man.
Yeah,
he ran those streets, man. He ran those streets. I'm just saying. Hi, my friend. We got You know, man, as far as Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, we could see him running those streets, and, man, we don't want him after us. But, Ty, which of the following would you select and why? Hannibal Lecter is a regular cast member of 90210, Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, or Conan the Librarian?
I'm the same thing. Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, man. Have them streets in line.
Man,
you ain't getting away from Big Bird, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
you ain't getting away from that bird. I can
You
tell
shouldn't even
that.
try. You shouldn't even try. And guys, I'll tell you what. Right now, we got a couple more of these for Blaine and for Ty Lawson, because Ty Lawson and Blaine, guys and gals and pals, are about to enter their final topic, which means you guys are going to have to vote. And you know what voting is, guys? You know how it is to our new viewers. It's not this like, hey, man, we're grabbing our pitchfork and voting for someone who's better. There's no one better here. Who resonates most with you? That's all. Whose story resonated most with you? That's the best way to compliment them is, hey, I'm voting for you because your story resonated with me. Back to the game, and then we're going to topic number 2. Mr. Blaine Wilson, which of the following would you pay to see and why? Of the following: Alf, attorney at law; Papa Smurf, the hip-hop artist; or Mr. Bean, the motivational speaker?
I'll take Mr. Bean. I'll take Mr. Bean for 10. Yes. Oh, my God. That dude.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Motivate. How many words could he get out? I don't think he could get that many words out.
That's the appeal, right? Does he have to motivate you? Does he have to say the word?
Maybe it's just a face.
It's just a face. It's just a face. Big shout out to Rowan Atkinson. He's the man. And, of course, Ty Lawson, which would you pay for to see and why of the following? Alf, attorney at law; Papa Smurf, the hip-hop artist; or Mr. Bean, the motivational speaker?
Probably Papa Smurf, the hip-hop artist. I was just, it would just be kind of interesting how he got the groove, got everybody going, you know.
Yes.
Because he's a father figure, you know, with the Smurfs. But now hip-hop getting the crowd hype. I want to see that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, but he's got a head start in the game because his first name's Papa.
Yeah. So, yeah, he got the name right.
You got the name right, yeah. There's no doubt about that. And, guys, it's our following one over here, I believe. Following one, Mr. Blaine Wilson and Ty Lawson, starting with Blaine. Which of the following would you pay to see and why? Of the following: Darth Vader, the wedding planner; Godzilla, the massage therapist; or Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer?
I'd go with Freddy Krueger.
Freddy.
I would love to see that. You don't want to do those? Why don't you want to do those?
Yeah, what's wrong with some wrist
curls? You gotta get that fat off.
Wrist
You want to
curls.
cut it off? I can cut it off for you.
Man. Were you a fan? I'll ask Ty and Blaine this. Were you a fan of Freddy when he was all serious and killing people? Or when he turned into like a stand-up comedian by part 4 and 5, he was just like a funny guy with one-liners? Remember that?
I like the comedian part of it. What was his name? John England?
Robert England, yeah.
Robert England.
Yeah.
I actually, he was funny, man. I like the funny portion.
He was funny. He was like playing a video game, and I'm not going to say this on air, but, you know, recreational stuff he was doing while he was playing the game. And he lifts his shades up and he goes, far out, man. The graphics. Man, he was hilarious. Ty Lawson, I'll ask you the same question of the following options that you have as well. Which would you pay for to see and why? Darth Vader, the wedding planner; Godzilla, the massage therapist; or Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer?
Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer. I just want to see the before and after results, and I guarantee that it'll be added. He'll get them right. Yo, listen.
Yo, whether you want it or not. It's gonna
want it or not. You want it, you'll get. I would pay to see that how he got them right, because everybody would come out there with abs and you know what I mean?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. Guys, man, this is great. Blaine and Ty, they're giving us a lot of great context as far as why they're picking who they do. Hopefully you guys can let us know who you pick. And we won't do these options. We'll do them next time. But honorable mentions: Beetlejuice, the runway model; cast of Goodfellas as audience members on Jerry Springer; Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th as a professional ice skater; Archie Bunker, the mountain climber; Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor; Don Corleone, the computer repair person; a plethora of others. We'll do them next time. But right now, we are going to switch things up and kick it over to Mr. Ty Lawson for our second and final topic. It's the same one that Blaine Wilson has as well. Ty, you can go on as long as you want. It's a philosophical question. What's the best question, Ty, you've ever been asked, and why? Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
The best question I got ever asked and why? I'll probably say this question was pretty off. It was, I didn't expect it. I was over in Greece, and one of the reporters to ask me, what city best describes your game as a basketball player? You know, because he's like, you've been all over the world. You played in the United States. You played in China. You played in, I played in Africa too for a little bit. So I played literally everywhere. So he asked me what city best describes me. And I had to sit back and think about it because I've never been asked that before. So I kind of picked, Japan, Tokyo. Tokyo because it's fast paced. Everything's fast paced and electric. Like when you go there, you see that bunch of bright lights and everything like that. And I feel like that's how my game is. I'm going all over the place. I'm on the court. I'm here. I'm there. And then also it's just compact and explosive. It's one of the smaller countries, but also at the same time, you see how many people over there? Like it's just explosive at night when everybody's, out doing stuff, going to, whatever they're doing at night. Just everybody's all over the place. The crosswalks are full. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I really thought about that. And then also I think just the architecture of the whole of Tokyo. It's precise, but it's like chaos. If you just come out there and look at it, it's like, oh my, it's like, it's all over the place, but they know exactly where they're going. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm lost too. So that's why I feel like my game is, I always say I'm always in control, but it is chaos. I'm out there going fast, but I'm already know where I'm going. I'm about to make this crossover. I'm just reading the defense. They're telling me how to go and how to move. And then last one, I think I would say Japan is ahead of its curve. It's always got the new technology. When you go over there, like 4 years ago, they already had the robots that was bringing the food up to your room. Those little ones, they had all that stuff. The robots cooking your food. So they're always ahead of the curve and futuristic. And I feel like the same way for me, I'm the same way. Like I'm always thinking ahead of the curve. Everything I've done for the most part has been like one step ahead of what people haven't thought of. So it's from my slippers that look like sneakers called Sleekers. What else? It's a lot of stuff that I've done. The app that I'm doing now, nobody's done it before. I like to do stuff that's not been done before because it's always an open market. So that's what I would say the city that represent me, and that's the best country, the best question that I've heard so far. It made me think a little bit.
I love Tokyo's organized chaos. That's
organized chaos. That's all for you.
Way of looking at it. Blaine, I wish Ty can maybe I'll say it. I'm not going to ask Ty to do it, but man, if Miss Bailey could see you now, man, Miss Bailey from Gwynn Park, man. Man. Miss Bailey, 7th grade teacher. If she only knew how innovative Ty was, of course, way ahead of his time, intellectual, and of course, man, very ambitious. Miss, yeah, and we all have some of those teachers. Yeah, Mr. Huntington, if you're out there, ha! That's all I'm going to say, ha, to you. Why not?
Bailey was the one that was snitching on me with the candy. She probably wanted something.
Well, that was her.
Yeah, it was her. She
kept it for herself.
He got candy in his laptop, his chopper keeper.
Yeah. She was onto something. She knew what she was doing. Guys and gals and pals, we know you know what you're doing as well. You are right now enthralled in this conversation with Mr. Ty Lawson, Mr. Blaine Wilson. And of course, guys, keep it coming. Keep those subscriptions coming. We don't have to tell you that much because, we started with a big donut a couple years ago. Now, this is different. It's not a podcast, and we hope you guys are enjoying how different it is because you too can try the different. Don't settle for the norm. Try something else and be different, be unique like Ty Lawson and Blaine Wilson, who, of course, Blaine Wilson, as he said it, wasn't like just a bad boy of gymnastics. The guy had an independent spirit, still does. Ty Lawson is not a basketball player. Ty Lawson is a guy who so happened to excel in basketball, and now in the second chapter of his life is excelling in many other aspects of business as well. So you guys don't allow anyone to put you in the box. Not Miss Bailey or anybody else, I promise you. Right now, we're going to kick it right now to Mr. Blaine Wilson with the same question for him. Blaine, what's the best question you've ever been asked and why? Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Good, sir.
You know what? That's a loaded question. I think for me, I was asked this question 2 different times, and in the end, it was like, what would you like your legacy to be? And I had to, on the spot, you're like, I don't know. During an interview, and to have a little bit of time and to reflect, because John Roethlisberger asked me the same question. He's like, what would you like your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered for? And he looked back and Ty probably got the same thing, all the hurdles and obstacles that you had to overcome and how strong you were. And I came back from this and I did that. And hopefully I inspired a lot of kids from the time that, from my 34 years in gymnastics, but in the end, I came to the realization for me that my legacy is going to be my kids. It's what I leave behind. I mean, they're going to remember the stuff as far as the gymnastics goes and, what I did. And, hey, he was a tough guy, but he was also nice. There's a lot of people that that know me and don't know me, and there's no gray area with me. You either like me or you hate me. There's no like gray area. But so in terms of back to thinking about that, I was like, dude, that's it. It's my children. It's what I leave behind. So when I'm dead and gone, how are they going to affect the rest of the world? Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be, proper kids, do things for other people? When people look at them and say, yeah, Blaine did the right thing. He did the right thing with, raising his kids, and that's going to be my legacy. And there's a lot of people that, might think of things differently, but for me, that's it. When I'm dead and gone, they'll look at tapes and whatever, but my kids are going to be it. That's it.
I love that. that. You have a lot of integrity, my friend. And I like that word integrity because Integrity Gymnastics, it was in Plain City.
Name of my gym. Yeah.
Yeah. Plain City. And you bought that after your retirement from the sport in 2008. That is so cool that, and by the way, shame on some of the programs out there. I think if I'm not mistaken, like Temple dropped the men's program, I think years back. Cal was in danger of losing their program. Not sure if they have since then. Air Force, that's something that grinds your gears, right?
I mean, as I said before, it nothing against women's sports. Title IX destroyed gymnastics,
right.
And it's destroyed a lot of other sports as well. But as I said, at my freshman year, we had 30 teams. Right now there's 11. So it is what it is. And I just look at my son who's 15, and is there going to be programs for him? Is there going to be a chance for him to get a scholarship, to go for gymnastics?
Sure.
If he's good enough to do that. Once again, I don't blow any sunshine up, anybody's rear end when it comes to it. If you're gonna get it, you don't get it on your own. You better put some work in. But
I mean, look at you, for instance. I don't know if this is still the same number or not, but for a while you would see about 200 gymnasts each week. Am I right? About 200 or so.
Yeah, I mean, our gym, we have over 2,000. I guess 2,200 kids, or something like that come through the gym. But my biggest thing when I first started, at 18 years of age, I was coaching camps during the summer. So it all depended on how many kids were at the camp. You would have 350 or more kids at the camp. So the amount of kids that I had the chance to affect has been it's been outstanding. It's as they got from the Three Amigos, a plethora. It's there's a lot of kids that I've had a chance to influence, and it's funny because now I'm kind of that older man. I'm not gonna say I'm old guy, but I got kids that are like, hey, my mom wants to take a picture with you. I'm like, oh, perfect.
The mom part, yeah. Wait a minute. Moms want to take pictures with me. I thought I was the 22-year-old rebellious. But no, you guys look great. You found at youth. Your dad nicknamed you BC when you were young, right?
Yeah, Blaine Carew. I mean, that's what he calls me all the time. And, my mom does it. My sister uses it religiously.
What would you do, Ty? And I'll ask Blaine the same question as well. Now that we're finished with this topic, if there's a young player who, of course, wants to excel in this game, in this case, basketball, but they don't have the talent. Now the work ethic is there, the drive is there. Do you not say anything and let them continuously progress, or do you pull them aside and go, all right, like I don't want to be mean, but there's something missing here. What do you do in that instance?
I'm low key in that dilemma right now. All right.
Oh, okay.
Literally, like there's a kid, there's mom, he wants to play basketball, but I don't think it's a little too late. He's like 13, 14, but his drive is crazy. That's the only reason why I train him by himself and everything, dedicated every day. So after next week, it'll be like 3 weeks. And I'm just trying to figure out how I should tell him, or if I should tell him. I think he would appreciate it, but I might hold off and just keep working, see if he gets there. But it's gonna be a tough uphill battle right now. So I don't know what to do at this point. It's tough. That's a tough situation.
Absolutely.
I don't really want to tell nobody that you're not good enough, but I probably won't. His mom kind of asked me to do that, and I'm like, I just don't do that, man. It hurts in my soul. I can't do that. I can't say that.
Yeah. Like I can't put myself in your shoes because on one hand, it's like, oh, do we impede their progress, or are we helping them make progress by telling them that this maybe isn't for you? Blaine, how would you handle this tricky situation?
With gymnastics, we have a good avenue for that kind of stuff because they created another group called it's the Excel. So you have different levels. So if you're not, I don't coach anybody going to the Olympics. I don't want anything to do with that. Nothing. It's way too much. We tell the parents the biggest return on your money is trying to get and I coach girls for a living, try to get your girl to college, to try to get her a college scholarship, and I coach girls from the age of 4 to 18. So that's the biggest thing. So if they're not excelling in that top level, or you're able to move them into another level, it's more fun for them. It's more fun gymnastics. It's not life or death, or I gotta get to college, and it's more like a fun situation. But I'm sure they have it for basketball, but it's very tough for. You don't want to kill anybody's dreams. You don't want to say, "Hey, man, that's not possible. It's never going to happen." But as I said before, same thing. I look at my son. Hey, the odds of you being an Olympian are,
oh my gosh,
0.001.
Yeah.
I was like, well, actually, you're probably a little bit closer because the girls' pool is like 0.0001. I mean, if you think about all the girls, but it's very hard. And you might have some parents that are like, hey, my kid's going to the Olympics. Did you look at the numbers? It doesn't necessarily add up. And that's why I say when that comes in, I have other gyms that I can send you to for sure, because they do that stuff. So, but back to what Ty said, it's tough. You don't want to ever tell anybody that they cannot do something. And I started the whole thing by saying, somebody said I couldn't get something done, and I love Tim Daggett, but I was like, man, you know me. You don't say things like that.
No, but you know what, though? This is kind of a solution-based show. I got a solution because, everything matters. Everything has a point when we bring it up here. We could always send them to Mr. Bean, the motivational speaker.
You're right.
When all else fails, he'll get it done somehow. He'll find some way.
It'll just be faces, man. That's all it takes.
Faces. Like the kid says, I want to be an NBA player when I grow up. We'll just do one of these. That's it. That's all he needs to do, Mr. Bean. Better than Rambo with a knife somewhere. We don't want that. No. Guys, listen. Hey, I had a blast with you. Anything you guys want to tell each other? Because I'm going to talk to you one-on-one as I bid you adieu individually. But before we do that, anything you guys want to tell one another? You guys were amazing.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a fun show. I looked you up, Blaine. I see everything about you, and everything that I read about was you. You're a motivational person. You worked hard to do things and everything like that. This show kind of inspired me too to keep going too, because I just started my gym. You have a gym, so now I just see this is a match made in heaven. And I appreciate Avi for bringing us together. But yeah, I can hopefully talk to you off screen and get some input and things like that. Pick your brain, because I feel like you think like I do, so that would be fun.
Yeah, I echo the sentiments, man. My youngest son was like, "Wait, Ty Lawson? What?" Yeah. So I started laughing. I was like, "Shut up, kid." But hey, you're an inspiration, man. You're a trendsetter. I tell you what, I'm gonna have to ask my sons to look up the lotto wins. I don't do any Instagram. I don't do Twitter. I don't do any of that stuff. I have no Facebook, nothing. So it's interesting. But yeah, man, it's an inspiring story, man. You're a good dude, man.
We say on this show, again, I'd rather be sappy than cynical, especially in 2025. This is a place where strangers leave as friends. So if you guys are cool, an exchange of numbers after this, and you guys can keep in touch, I think we definitely accomplished that tagline, because I see the bond and it's real. There's no doubt about that. Right now, I'm going to talk to Ty for two minutes, and then Blaine for 2 minutes. Blaine, I'm going to put you backstage for one moment, my friend.
Go.
And then I'm going to do the same with Ty. Ty, listen, man. Hey, again, as a fellow hoop head, There's so much about the game that we could learn, but the game of life, we're learning from each other. And I want to keep myself around people like you who inspire, but also are willing to grow, collaborate. You're part of an ensemble of people in this entire network here that have pioneered something and are willing to give back. So I want to tell you, man, it's been an honor getting to know you. Hope we see you in the next round. Did you have a nice time?
Oh yeah, I had a fun time. This is, like I said, this is different. This is not like it's not a podcast. So I like it. It made me think a little bit different, meet new people, and just get different perspective on things. So this is a fun experience. Hopefully I can do it again. And if you have it next year or whatever, bring me on because I love this.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, my friend. Hey, man, I'm going to keep in touch with you even outside of this about some projects we're talking about. And I'm glad, again, like I said, I'm getting to know you as a friend. You have a great rest of the evening, man.
Yep, you too. And I definitely want to talk about my project. So I think it will be a match me in heaven because you're doing this now. I'm basically the same thing, but it's a little different. But yeah, I'm excited.
Me too, my friend. Ty Lawson, guys and gals. What a class act this man is. I do want to talk to him because he's such a thinker. He's a forward thinker. Blaine, I don't know if you caught that, but when you talk to Ty, I love how you could see everything turning over here, man. He's always thinking about the next step, the next move. And I brought up that's what, point guards are known for as being quarterbacks. But the way that you think, there are some similarities. You're also a natural born leader. The way that you guys both are able to convey other parts of your interests. And right now you're doing the same with your kids. I get the sense, I could be wrong, that you're not the type of parent that tells your kids, you have to do what I do. You have to excel the way I did. It seems like you're one of those guys that wants to see your kids happy doing what they love.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when I'm like, look, man, I'm trying to set by example, but at the same time, they're little human beings. They're sponges, and they got to go. They got to go their own way. And there's a lot of times when my wife's like, well, you were just the perfect child, because sometimes I say, well, I didn't do things like that.
Right.
No, I didn't. I was raised a little differently, and day and age, it's totally different. So, I had a great time. Ty's a great guy.
Oh yeah, and so are you. Ty's. I'll tell you what. I spoke to him a few times on the phone. I'm like, I like him because he's so real and captivating. And you're the same way. I like people that don't mince words but are still respectful because you know where they're coming from. They're not trying to be mean or demeaning, but you get an idea of, especially in my industry, in the film industry, when someone's full of fluff. You are not. Ty is not. You guys definitely keep it real. Do you have a nice time on this program, my friend?
I did, Avi. Thanks, man. I got to watch I watched Miles Avery's episode. And,
okay.
Yeah. This has been awesome. Hey, thinking outside the box, getting questions that, I guess some of us are used to just answering the typical, how do you think your day went? Or, just a typical interview. And this is not a podcast. This is more of like, hey, man, this is life. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it out there. And, it was great talking to you, man. It was awesome.
Likewise. Yeah, definitely, man. You're a new friend. Big shout out to Mitch, who, of course, is such a huge part of what we do as well. Big shout out to him. Big man with a big heart. Hey, Blaine, I'm going to tell you this as well. When there's gymnastics on the tube, I promise you right now, when I read your story, I respect the sport. I always did, but I see it through a different lens by reading your story. So if it helps, if it makes a difference, yours truly now looks at your sport differently because of your story. So, yeah.
Thank you. Hey, life's a journey, and I hope people enjoy it and just take a look at what people have been through. And hey, hopefully you love it.
100%. Blaine Wilson, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Thank you, Avi.
Appreciate you, Blaine, and I appreciate you, Ty. And guys, we're going to turn it over to you right now. It is the evening time, which means that you guys now know that it's time to vote on who resonated most with you. And again, two great gentlemen. I know how it sounds, but there is no better. There's no one better. Who resonated most with you? This is a sport of the mind, but as you see, strangers leave as friends. Sometimes we forget it's a tournament. That's the beauty of it. We get lost in conversation. And there have been many instances where a Michael Cooper and a Teddy Long became friends on this show. A lot of times we get the pairings and they keep in touch with each other. Ty and Blaine, so much respect for one another. There's no doubt about that. To my ex about the toothpaste, I'm sorry. I might give you another shot, but you got to let go of that last 2% of that toothpaste. Let it go already. Guys and gals and pals, I'm going to zip the old lip. The floor is yours. Vote for who you'd like. Thank you again. for watching us.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
That was rock and roll to me. That whole
and
segment.
roll.
I mean, there was laughter, there was depth, there was opening up, there was Rambo being a talk show host. I mean, what was left out? I don't know, man.
That was amazing. Of course, my predictions were not correct, but I'm so excited that they weren't because this was better than I could ever imagine. It was just insane. I mean, both of them are so accomplished. They gave us their all. They went deeper than I even expected. And I'm just so excited. This was so much fun.
I loved both of these topics, and these were great questions to ask these two gentlemen. Blaine freaking Wilson!
Bam!
Blaine freaking Wilson!
I know.
Here tonight in the celebrity tournament, in the 11th hour match. I do remember watching him, and I love how people just get in their head that someone's a bad boy because, ooh, there's a tattoo. God forbid we do something that doesn't strictly follow the rules. And ooh, I know a lot of the Olympians get the Olympic ring tattoos or get something that reminds them of the city they were in after they compete. But whew, some of those rules are super strict, and to flout those or go as far as you can within the system, and just because you did something a little bit out of the norm, someone's like, no, I don't like that. Because did you hear his answers tonight to these questions?
Yeah.
They're incredible. And he wants to leave a legacy. There's absolutely nothing about him besides what some people would consider appearance that I think would call him a bad boy. But Blaine freaking Wilson is here.
Freaking awesome. I loved
awesome
about the how it's tough on his son and the legacy and the shadow that he has to kind of navigate through. I mean, it's Blaine, as Giselle said, Blaine freaking Wilson. So I can only imagine that pressure that his son must have. But it was great that he shared that with us. I really loved hearing that. Miranda, you had something awesome you were going to say.
No, I was just saying that it's so incredible. Like, they're so accomplished. And Ty Lawson did a great job as well. I mean, he is just such a cool, laid-back guy. And I just loved hearing all of his experiences. And Avi knew his teacher's name from when he was younger. I was like, what is this? But
That's it. I'm convinced Avi works either for the CIA.
I was like, are you in the FBI? What's up? Where is
I think it's CIA or FBI. Just let it out. Just let us know. That's it. All right. That's all.
Yeah, just let us know. We can keep a secret.
No, he knows who killed Kennedy. He knows where Jimmy Hoffa's body is. He knows it all. Yep. I'm going to say it right now. That's right.
You see your votes starting to come in. We're tallying those in the back for sure. We'll start reading some of those out loud. You'll hear our votes in just a second, but keep those coming in. If you haven't voted yet, get those in the comments section. This is an 11th hour match. We want to know who is going to move on to round number 2 based on your votes. And because
there can be a tie, yes.
Oh God, yeah.
What can happen, Miranda?
There can be a tie. So we'll see.
There can be a tie. Now that won't happen in round 2, but there can be tonight, which I, at the onset, am definitely not against, because both of these men were wonderfully. Gosh, it's going to be so hard. They were both wonderfully resonant. They were both very creative.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think they could give some of the big guns for their money?
They can, yeah.
I mean,
for a tie. I would love to see them go up against some of Sally, Jesse Raphael, Mark Henry,
boom,
Ray.
There you go.
Ventura.
Boom.
From Montaigne, my favorite.
John
Anderson, Eric Bischoff, Stacey Keach.
Yeah.
Girl, those are some.
Some cool guys, some cool people coming down the pike.
So many. Jake the Snake Roberts, JBL, and 11th hour people we haven't even seen yet, because some of those biggest names are still to come too. But Blaine Wilson and Ty Lawson are pretty. They're pretty great names, and whew, we're gonna have a reckoning in round 2 for sure.
It's gonna be a slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker. It is an intellectual, spiritual, mental, emotional slobber knocker. If you guys
We're in the final stretch, guys. This is gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah. We got some votes coming in. I just want to say I love the fact that I think, with exception to Avi's amazing intros, reference to Tupac Shakur. Just want to put that out there. I thought that was really cool. Ty talked about it, and I thought that was pretty cool. So just want to put that out there.
Yeah, that was a fantastic pick, and I'll go into more detail when we're all voting. I think both of their picks for musicians were really great, really fit their personalities, and summed up very well what they were trying to say. There is a possibility, if both of these gentlemen move on tonight, both of these competitors move on, that Miranda and Howard, you haven't had a second round match yet, and there's a little something going on the black box that could shake things up too.
Yes.
Face one of these two.
Yes, I have my second round matchup coming up, and so does Howard. And the black box, we've been having some really cool matchups on the black box, and now we have the blind faith matchups going on.
Yeah, you're correct, Miranda. And, unfortunately, my opponent, Kelly White, has been dodging, and I've been showing up, and he's been dodging. And it's unfortunate because I've been ready. He has not. I showed up prepared, and he has not. And,
that's not why I understand it. I understand that Kelly's shown up prepared, and you have not.
That's not what I recall. Miranda, I don't recall seeing Kelly as much on I think I showed up consistently. I don't remember seeing Kelly, but
it's two sides to every story.
It's hard to go against the king of the black box.
Let's see what happens. I mean, they're tied now. You've got a chance. So
you do. You have that last match, and that's for the final green ticket. So there are two separate tournaments, mini tournaments going on the black box now. The one for the final green ticket. Howard and Kelly have to face each other one more time, and then we'll see what happens after that for the finals. And then we have the blind faith tournament, which can definitely shake up round number 2, where we still have people like Tar and Sydney Moncrief yet to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are.
Whoever wins the blind faith gets to choose their matchup, correct?
They become their own booker.
Yeah.
We become a booker for one of the Green Rumor matches. So that's
crazy.
Howard, if your match gets changed somehow, who would you like to compete?
Good question.
I don't know. That's a great question. I think I would like to go up against maybe God, that's so many options here. So many options. You name it. I'm drawing a blank right now, but so many amazing competitors that I would love to compete with. I mean, some of the wrestlers I would love, because they're more than just that. They're so multifaceted and talented. Maybe a Mick Foley, or I don't know, Jake the Snake, maybe. I mean, I don't know. All those guys would be amazing.
Sure. Miranda, who are you looking forward to seeing that hasn't appeared yet?
Joe Montana. I was gonna say that. He's gonna think I'm a stalker. I was gonna say that me.
I said stalker, Allison. Come on.
Me, Howard, and Joe Montana would be a cool matchup. I would choose that. No, but I'm also excited to see Mark Henry and Stevie Ray. That's pretty cool. And Randy Couture was pretty cool. Also, Steven Tobolowsky, I always love seeing.
He's around 3 already.
So many, but he shows up, and I like seeing him. And who else? Who else is in round 2? Dee Wallace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Nancy Kerrigan. Girl power. Love seeing that.
Yeah. JBL.
JBL's a big one. Yeah. Jesse Ventura. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you?
a lot of our 11th hour participants need to be inserted into their matches now for the second round. So we've got Richard Karn, we've got Matt Riddle, we've got so many amazing competitors. So we've seen your votes on screen. They are being tallied in the back. Howard, Miranda, let's get to it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. So topic number 1 was incredible. I love how many moving parts there were to this topic and how they all connected and were together. And I also feel like both of their answers, they were different, but they were also related to each other. It's almost like you can't really have one without the other. So for this first topic, I am voting for Blaine Wilson because he talked about the inspirational moment being for himself, but also how he internalized that and took that from his teammate and his competitor and stayed friends with the family. And that really helped him. And I haven't heard anyone mention like sleeping with the tapes on ear for a while. People kind of always joke about learning a language that way or cramming for tests that way, but he wore these tapes out and they meant so much for them. And then bumps on the road, you have to deal with them and take one thing at a time. That really hit home. But Ty Lawson had a great answer in that about keep pushing. So you hit these bumps on the road and you have to keep pushing. So I really felt their answers are very much related, and that made it very difficult for the first topic.
Yeah.
But for the second topic, I am going with Mr. Lawson. This question from Avi in itself is probably one of the best questions they have ever been asked. So aside from this one, both of their choice of questions were great. I do think what would you like your legacy to be is asked a bit more to people. They always want to know that, like, what do you want to leave behind? What would your greatest accomplishment be? But I like how Blaine went both into, well, that's really hard to think about on the spot. What do you want that to be? And then upon reflection, he's able to really find the answer that means the most to him for that. And that's really beautiful to me. But Ty being asked this super creative question, what city best describes your game as a basketball player or you as a basketball player? That is such a cool question. Then you have to sit there and think about, where have you been and how does that relate to you and what does it mean to you and what aspects of that city or that country or that place did you pick up from that makes you feel that way, that makes you feel like a kinship you have that you can't get out of that place. And he explains so well a lot of the elements of Tokyo and how that relates to his game and how he sees the similarities between this structure. This word is not coming to me right there. It was such a great question to ask and be answered. And he took so many of these parts, inanimate, how you take this inanimate structure and turn it into a living, breathing entity for both the city itself, because cities are made up of people, not just buildings, and then your play as a game. So I really like that. So topic 1 goes to Mr. Wilson and topic 2 goes to Mr. Lawson for me. Your turn, Howard.
Yeah. I think one of the most difficult things that these competitors usually go through is when they talk about those tough times, those tragedies that they face early on in their life. But at the same time, you, the viewers, us on screen, we all go through these really difficult tragedies in our own lives, right? The question becomes, well, then how do you turn that into a positive? How do you build on that? And that's one of the most difficult things. And so kudos to Avi for the amazing question, and kudos to the competitors for really kind of going in depth with that. When he talked about losing his friend and how they had made a pact, man, like that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
There's friends of mine that I've later on in life we'll talk and maybe 3 or 4 of those pacts we've stayed true to. But, you know, when you have that kind of bond early on, and, you know, you lose that one guy and that amazing brotherhood, it's tough. It's really tough. And, you know, the fact that he was able to, you know, continue on and you know, when his friend's parents give him those tapes, and how he used those tapes to continue to inspire him, that to me really spoke a lot. So my first vote is going to go to Blaine for that. And then the second topic, again, a really great question. I mean, I love how specific Ty got with that. He talked about like the rhythm of Tokyo, the energy of Tokyo, and how that kind of reflected his own basketball playing. I thought that was so cool because I got the visual for that. You know, he was painting such a great picture. Both of these guys were painting such a great picture when they were answering. But then, you know, Blaine talked about his children. And I don't have children. I work with kids, and just watching them take something they're learning from you and they expand upon it and they build. I can only imagine how much more of an impact that is when it's your child. So I really loved his answer, and I love that his children is going to be his legacy. But Ty also had a beautiful answer as well in response to that. To that question. So, but ultimately, I'm going to also vote for Blaine for that topic. So, but again, amazing. Both competitors really just brought so much of their heart and soul to both of those answers. So I'm grateful for that. And Avi, again, amazing questions. Miranda, take it away.
Thanks. So yeah, I love these topics, both of them, especially the first one. Like you said, there's so many different layers to this question. When I was hearing it, I was like, wow. Every time I hear the topics, I always think of how I would respond to them too. What would I say to this? You know, and then I just think about it the whole week. So I was like, what? It really is thought provoking. I think we're all kind of on the same page with this first topic. I think Blaine really took it away. He was talking, you know, from the heart, and not that Ty wasn't, but just getting real vulnerable and talking about his friend that passed away, especially I know a lot of motorcycle riders, so that really got me a little choked up, especially at such a young age too. That's really sad, and it's really heartbreaking. Like you said, Howard, when you have a bond with somebody and you make promises for the future and you have a plan and you want to do this and that, and then for all that to be halted is really difficult to comprehend. And then you think to yourself, which I think sometimes with my friends that have passed away, what would we be doing now? Would we have accomplished these things that we wanted to accomplish? Would we be in the same position and still be friends or have families? And you know, he's probably thinking that about his friend. But like he said, he wanted to go above and beyond for his friend and do as much as he could in gymnastics. And he definitely did that. So I'm sure his friend is very proud of him. And he has something that now he can always remember his friend by, is those tapes that his parents gave him, the friend's parents gave him. That's something that he'll always remember his friend by, which is really awesome that he has those tapes now and he's heard them a bunch of times and used them out and everything. But he always has that as a remembrance of his friend, which is really, really nice. And I love that he chose Prince. Prince was a very emotional songwriter and emotional provoking. His music just provoked emotions in you. He was really, really talented artist. And also talking about bumps in the road, as we all have bumps in the road in our lives that we have to overcome. And he definitely, you know, he's never going to forget his friend. That's something that you'll always have with you. You can't just overcome something like that. It's never going to be, but you can move forward. You can accept it and make the best out of the situation, which is what he did. And now he has this legacy that we were just talking about, right? And moving that on to his children. So I definitely choose Blaine for topic number 1. Topic number 2, I think I'm going to go with Ty, because it was very, very unique answer and unique question too. Unique question and unique answer. And the way he said Tokyo, really, I was thinking about it in my head with his energy as well. I've never been to Tokyo, but I was just feeling his energy and just thinking about what I've seen of Tokyo. And I hope to go there one day. What I've seen of Tokyo and how it moves and the people there and the energy there. It just makes sense why he chose that. as that's like his town, right? So it really just made sense and it clicked in my head, and it was such an awesome response. And I just loved every second of it, and it was just so unique and special. I thought, but I do love how Blaine chose his children as his legacy. I mean, I'm sure any parent would want that, because you always want the best for your children, and you hope that they can even surpass you as well. They have a better life than you, accomplish more than you, hopefully. So maybe his children will also be gymnasts. Who knows? Be a family tradition.
He's got one in there now, so we'll see how that goes. But he's
really?
Yeah, his middle child.
Oh, wow! I know he said that his children. That one of his children was doing gymnastics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but he's not in the Olympics or anything like that.
No, not yet.
Okay,
The oldest.
not yet.
Yeah. But very, very important question for both of you. Really important question. Really think deeply about this one. Do you guys want a robot cooking your food?
Wow, this just went not south, but it went left. We're talking about AI and stuff.
I talked about in Japan that Tokyo.
Yes.
Robots cooking food, and they will bring it to
You just made that up by yourself.
No. They talked about robots delivering food to your door.
What? Oh, okay. I remember now.
Automated carts now. So
I remember they do have a lot of that in Tokyo, from what I've seen online. A lot of robots everywhere, and their technology is just super crazy over there, advanced. No, I hate this stupid AI stuff and robots and everything. I can't. If it's for medical reasons and stuff like that, or educational things, that's fine with me, because that's saving lives. But you can't get people to cook. You know what I mean? That's just wow. That's just you're replacing people as workers. That's crazy to me.
Great comment right there.
I didn't read that.
Yeah, would love to see Q&A.
I would love that too.
Eagle John 247. I would love to see a Q&A session with the celebs and the Green Room Originals.
Yeah.
Love to hear everyone's thoughts and answers. Awesome. Well, we love to
do that. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think we get to see a different side of us. So I would totally be up for that, especially if we can do it in person with everyone and have this big panel and have so fun. From you, our engine, our viewers, our loyal fans like Eagle John. And then be able to ask each other too on the panel. So take turns. Yeah. And questioners. That would be a lot of fun. Great suggestion, Eagle John. I like this a lot. Howard?
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, it was, before we were live tonight, I was talking to Miranda about, me and her have shared some really awesome moments together, and being able to kind of think about those moments, and you and me as well, Giselle, and then Avi as well. But we never stopped to kind of sometimes, hey, what were you thinking in that moment? What were you feeling in that moment? When Dee Wallace talked about, amazing, feminism, what were you thinking at home? These moments, these little intimate moments that we never really ask. Whoa. Uh-oh.
Miranda? Go ahead and read that.
I will definitely. I was just reading it in my head too. Both are in. Remember last week? Always an elimination in round 2, but in the 11th hour matches, a tie can send both to round 2. So will that be the case tonight?
Ooh, will it? Ooh, I can't wait to find out. Robot wouldn't need utensils.
Cook your food.
How do you guys feel about that? That's
any recipe.
Oh,
from their little robot brain or whatever they have. Votes are. Are y'all ready to find out? Are you excited to know what's going to happen?
I'm very excited. Let's go.
I always am, because you never know. Anything could happen. Anything does happen here every Saturday.
Elton, Pierre, Phil, Joe, Julio, everybody else, Antonio. everybody else out there. Eric, are y'all ready?
The three Avi Amigos. I love that.
That's the second reference to Three Amigos. Just want to say that tonight.
Well, clearly we need
the three best friends that anyone could have.
Miranda, you know Three Amigos?
Well, yes, but also the song I was just singing was from Hangover, I believe. Did you guys ever see that? We're the three best friends that anyone could have. No? Okay.
Somebody.
Such a plot tease. He is.
A plot tease.
Oh, that's a great comment.
Hashtag plot tease.
Eagle John, you're coming with the comments tonight. That is a great comment. Awesome.
Okay. Do we want
definitely both deserve to move on. So
let's see. Do we want to know?
Yes.
What if only one moves on? Wait. What if they both move on? What if one moves on?
That could be a possibility.
I would be devastated, I think. I'm so glad we can still have these ties in round number 2. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Abby, stop being a tease.
What are the results?
I'm having heart palpitations.
I'll make this a thing. I'm gonna.
It's a tie! Yes! Yes! I get it. Yes! Oh my gosh!
Yes, as Gloria says, Ty is perfect. Well deserved for both Mr. Wilson and Mr. Lawson. I am excited. We will be seeing more of both of them. I think I'm losing words now. So,
I mean, just again, right? All the matchups that are possible with those two amazing competitors. Could you imagine? You know, I mean, who would you match them up with? Again, right? The big dogs are still around. Right? Jesse's, JBLs, the D Wallaces. I mean, those guys could, you know, very well compete against the amazing competitors we saw tonight. So we don't know.
They could compete against a Miranda. They could compete against a Sydney Moncrief. What if we have Ty Lawson with other basketball players next time?
Muggsy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Muggsy Bogue. That'd be cool.
Sydney Moncrief, Muggsy Bogues. What if we have Blaine against Muggsy even? What if we have Blaine against?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh gosh, so many people up there.
Ty Lawson versus John Anderson versus Miranda. Oh, that would be super cool. Get it done. Get it done. I'm in.
Book it. Yeah.
I think these conversations will be incredible with whoever they are matched up against. And I might be feeling sorry for some of our round 2 competitors because these guys are going to be tough.
But here's another question. What other 11th hour participants are coming in? Right? I recall a very amazing conversation with Avi Klein and Martin Cove.
I would love to see Martin.
I have been waiting for him to come in here.
I would love to see him.
Yes, I think Martin Cove definitely needs to be an 11th hour participant. He's been on the green room before. He would do very well in this format. She's probably friends with half the people in round 2.
Rick Barry's in round 3.
Yeah, quick wonderful. Round 3, Rick Barry.
But Jerry Lucas could be a good combo with some of these other basketball players. I'd love to see a generational shift or a generational competition with some of the basketball players or some of the wrestlers. That could be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
We also had some really great conversations with Jeff Tate. I've been waiting for him to come back as well. Oh, Phil, bring in Dean Winters. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'm all for it. Oh, yeah.
We've had so many cool people on here. I can't believe some of the ones that we haven't seen yet in this competition, because I know they're all going to do fantastic. Jeff Tate is one. I'm looking forward to Barry Bostwick as well.
Oh, yeah.
Stage and screen star. I know many of you know him from other things, but I saw Barry Bostwick's name and I said, please. I was Miranda, who else could we possibly see in 11th hour?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many people I know I would love to see. I definitely would love to see Mark Cove again. That's for sure. But let's bring Justin Bieber.
Well, here's another question, right? What if Blaine makes it to round 3 and we learned tonight faces his coach Miles Avery?
Oh wow!
Versus teacher. Bam!
I didn't even know it was his coach. That's so awesome.
Book it. I mean,
oh my gosh, book it. That's our new line.
Book it.
Blaine's got to make it to round 3 first, and he very well could. But that would be amazing to watch.
Yes.
I would love to see that.
I mean, well, think about it, right? A really good coach not only coaches you in the sport, he teaches you life lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in a sense, everything he's learned, the foundation of who he is as a person, is something Miles Avery has influenced. So he might know his proverbial tricks,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Quick hello to Joe and Time. Thanks for joining this evening on our 236th consecutive episode. Next week, same channel, we have episode 237 of The Green Room.
And who will be on next week? That's the question.
Ooh, we will find out with tonight's outro.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
What it meant, it went beyond what it was to what it meant. To seeing people of different colors and different minorities play these founding fathers.
Captain of a ship?
Yeah. One of those big ocean liners or a freighter or an oil tanker. Or be out there in the ocean in the middle of the night, navigating by the stars.
Casual people know who Duke is. You've never even probably seen a Duke basketball player, and if somebody says, "Hey, are you watching college basketball?" or if you're like, "Hey, name a random college basketball team," it's Duke. Everybody mentions Duke.
My father was only 5'7". My mom was 5 feet. My oldest brother was 5'5", and my sister was 5'1". So I knew I was going to be in that 5 foot range.
And the video revolution is what took us to TV. And what happened was, now all these things converged back.
But the great thing about music is that everybody got their own style. Michael McDonald, he got his own style. I can't understand a word, but he's bad. Girl, don't worry. Are you? Please don't be more. Girl, to worry.
And I chose Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. It was sold out. It was a crowd from 5-year-olds through 70-year-olds, and every joke landed, every scare jumped. They were cheering, and it was black and white, and it put lie to the fable that no young people will watch black and white movies.
There is no light at the end of the tunnel. There's not even a tunnel yet when you start. But you have to put your faith in your post-production or your pre-production and the script.
Cost myself a lot of money and gave myself a lot of sleepless nights because of my anger that would build over the unfair business practices that he used. Promos for me were a game. They were fun. And anything that's fun, you'll spend more time doing.
Sure.
You know, and I like playing with people's minds. I like mixing the words up.
All of those gardens were not owned by the same people, but they were governed by the same people. And being that the Boston Garden had a name, it's the same as Madison Square Garden having a name. Of course, they tore it down, and they finally had evolution.
Where Mark Henry, barbers, and volunteers.
I just realized that there's a lot of people that have needs. Maybe the best policy is to do something to help them on the ground.
But if you're going to string me along like a puppet, give me something. I'm not just going to go along to get along. So when it comes to 9/11, that's what I got a problem with. Nobody ever said anything about going to Afghanistan.
And the WCW committee have been having a problem with the note I gave them?
Yes.
With the phone calls that I gave them?
Indeed.
Networks had the women's basketball, the women's baseball, the women's field hockey, the women's lacrosse on, it would be as popular.
That title should be kind of a grabber. Anyhow, romance, excitement, and passion are in the air today because we are talking about older women and older men falling in love with someone half their age, while there are family members who are strongly disapproving.
We need something like Gort to bring people back to their senses and end this chaotic nonsense insanity of war.
I challenge any billionaire to run the jackhammer for 40 hours 1 week and tell me he works harder than that. No, he doesn't. That's why I believe there should not be a billionaire in the world.
Even stand up and say that and say, I was one of those victims, and I know how I felt in those shoes.
Obviously, that people reacted in Hardcore Country was a character that I always wanted to present to the WWE audience, but I just, never did for one reason or another.
General Patton actually is a guy that I've always been fascinated by, because had we not had somebody like him who was as prepared and thought out and was as ready in World War II, this whole entire our country might be different.
The definition of success, the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. I've learned a lot about success when I played in the National Football League. I learned a lot about success in 20 plus years at ESPN.
You know, when I look at Martin Luther King, he wants everybody to be on the equal stage, and we're still dealing with a lot of the things that are prevalent now in our
Wow. I just got to say this. Who comes up with this list? You know, because it's I saw someone there who I'm not a big fan of. And every Saturday night, you guys watch me sit here and respond to this outro. I sit here all nicely, and then there's certain people who deserve to be on that top 10. And there's certain people who do not deserve to be on that top 10. And JW is one of those individuals. I mean, when was the last time I wasn't on that top 10? I haven't seen myself in that top 10 at all. Jesus Christ. Jeez. You know what? You know what? You know what? Oh, who is next? I'll tell you who is next. I